Imagine you're sitting in traffic. You've been driving for almost an hour, and suddenly you feel that familiar pressure in your stomach. You know exactly what it means. You need to poop. But there's no bathroom nearby. So you tell yourself, I'll hold it until I get home. Maybe you've done this before. Maybe you're at work, in school, on a bus, at an event, or watching a movie. You feel the urge, but you don't want to stop what you're doing. So you hold it. At first it seems harmless. You tighten your muscles, ignore the feeling, and continue whatever you were doing. But inside your body an incredible process is taking place. To understand what happens when you hold your poop, we first need to understand where that poop comes from. After you eat, food travels through your digestive system. It enters your stomach where it is mixed and broken down. From there, the partially digested food moves into your small intestine. Your small intestine is where most of the nutrients from your food are absorbed. Proteins are broken down. Carbohydrates are processed. Fats are digested. Vitamins, minerals, and other useful substances are absorbed into your body. But not everything can be used. The remaining material moves into the large intestine, also called the colon. The colon has an important job. It removes water from the material passing through it and helps turn it into stool. As the stool moves through the colon, it gradually becomes more formed. Eventually, it reaches the final section of the large intestine, the rectum. The rectum is basically a temporary storage area. When stool enters the rectal walls begin to stretch. And your body has special sensory nerves that detect this stretching. These nerves send signals through your nervous system toward your spinal cord and brain. That's when you suddenly become aware of something. I need to go to the bathroom. This feeling isn't coming from your stomach. It's largely your nervous system detecting that the rectum is becoming full. Now comes the interesting part. You can consciously delay the bowel movement. Your brain communicates with muscles around the anus and pelvic floor. The anal sphincter muscles can tighten. Your pelvic floor muscles can also help maintain control. So when you're sitting in traffic and thinking, not now, your brain is actually coordinating muscles to prevent stool from leaving. You're temporarily overriding a natural reflex. But the stool doesn't disappear. It's still there, and your colon is still working. While the stool remains inside, the colon continues absorbing water. This is important because stool contains a significant amount of water. The longer stool remains in the colon, the more water can potentially be removed from it. That can make the stool firmer. And if this happens repeatedly, stool can become harder and more difficult to pass. Now you might notice something strange. After holding your poop for a while, the urge may become weaker. You might think, oh, I guess I don't need to go anymore. But the stool may still be there. The sensation may simply have become less noticeable for the moment. Your brain can adjust to the signals coming from the rectum. So you continue your day, but inside your digestive system, the process continues. And if you keep making a habit of ignoring the urge, the situation can become more complicated, because eventually that stool has to move somewhere, and that takes us deeper into the colon. Part 2, minutes 3-6. What happens inside your colon? Now imagine this happens again and again. Every day you feel the urge to poop, but you keep telling yourself, later. Your colon continues moving its contents forward. The muscles in the intestinal wall perform rhythmic contractions called peristalsis. Think of these contractions like gentle waves. One section contracts, then another section contracts. Together, these movements help push the contents of your intestines forward. Eventually, stool moves toward the rectum. When the rectum fills, the urge to poop becomes stronger. But you continue holding. Your anal sphincter muscles remain contracted. Your pelvic floor muscles help maintain control, and you may start feeling pressure. You might feel uncomfortable. You may experience bloating. You might get abdominal cramps. You may even find yourself constantly thinking about finding a bathroom. And here's where the problem can start. The longer stool remains in the colon, the more water can be absorbed from it. A soft stool can gradually become firm. A firm stool can become harder, and harder stool generally takes more effort to pass. This is one reason repeated stool holding can contribute to constipation. Now imagine the stool finally reaches the rectum. Your body sends another strong signal. It's time. But you hold it again. You squeeze the muscles. You wait. Eventually, the urge may decrease. But the stool hasn't necessarily disappeared. This repeated pattern can interfere with your normal bowel routine. You may begin relying on very strong urges before going to the bathroom. And when you finally do go, you may need to push harder. That's called straining. Occasional straining can happen to anyone. But frequent or excessive straining isn't something you want to make a regular habit. There's also another important part of the story. Your gut and brain are constantly communicating. Your digestive tract contains an enormous network of nerves. Your brain receives information about what's happening inside your digestive system. It can receive signals about stretching, movement, and the presence of stool. And your brain can influence how your digestive tract behaves. That's why the urge to poop can sometimes suddenly appear when you're relaxed at home, even if you didn't feel it strongly while you were busy. Your body has been communicating with you the entire time. You were simply distracted or deliberately suppressing the signal. Now let's clear up a common misunderstanding. Holding your poop doesn't mean your body suddenly becomes filled with dangerous toxins. Your body has sophisticated systems for handling waste and occasionally delaying a bowel. Movement is generally not the same thing as causing immediate serious harm. The bigger issue is repeatedly making a habit of holding stool, especially if it leads to ongoing constipation. In more severe cases, stool can become so hard and accumulated that it becomes difficult to pass. This is known as fecal impaction. That is a medical problem and may require professional treatment. So holding your poop isn't a magical switch that instantly damages your body. It's more about what happens when the behavior becomes frequent and prolonged. Your stool may become harder. Your bowel movements may become more difficult. You may experience discomfort. And you can get stuck in a cycle where going to the bathroom becomes unpleasant, so you want to avoid it even more. But there's good news. You can help your digestive system return to a healthier routine. And that's what we'll look at now. Part 3, Minutes 6-9. How to keep your bowel movements healthy. Let's go back to that moment when your body first tells you need to poop. If you're in a situation where you genuinely can't use a bathroom, occasionally waiting is understandable. You might be stuck in traffic. You might be traveling. You might be at work. You might be somewhere without a clean or accessible bathroom. Sometimes you simply have to wait. That doesn't mean you've permanently damaged your digestive system. The problem is when holding your poop becomes a regular daily habit. Your digestive system works through a coordinated process. Food enters your body. Your stomach and small intestine process it. Nutrients are absorbed. The remaining material moves into the colon. The colon absorbs water. Stool forms. The stool moves into the rectum. The rectum stretches. Nerves send signals to your brain. And your brain decides when it's appropriate to use the bathroom. When you go, the muscles involved in the process coordinate together. The rectum helps push stool forward. The anal sphincter and pelvic floor relax. And the stool leaves your body. It's a remarkably organized system. So how can you support it? First, pay attention to your body's signals. When you feel the urge to have a bowel movement, try not to make a habit of repeatedly ignoring it. Second, drink enough fluids. Hydration supports many functions throughout your body and can help maintain normal stool consistency. Third, eat enough fiber. Fiber is found in foods such as vegetables, fruits, beans, lentils, and whole grains. Fiber can help add bulk to stool and support regular bowel movements. But there's an important detail. Don't suddenly go from eating very little fiber to eating enormous amounts overnight. Increase fiber gradually and make sure you're drinking enough fluids. Fourth, stay physically active. Regular movement,